How do you feel about Sleeping with Sirens? I personally love them, and Kellen Quinn has a unique voice. I think I've maybe in my whole life heard one, possibly two, Sleeping with Siren songs. Um, so I would not be able to have a full fledged opinion. Okay, all right. Um, how's it going, guys? How are we doing? How are we doing? You know what? I'm glad that you guys, or at least some of you. Obviously, it's not going to be universal. Okay, I understand that. Of course, it will never be universal. But I am glad that at least it seems like there's a decent portion of you that have similar music taste to me, where at least there seems to be some appreciation of the intro music, and I like that. Okay, I like that. That's cool. Eating breakfast at damn near noon. Based. I mean, it's fucking Sunday, dude. Sunday's the day to wake up late. Real quick before I'm about to start the TikTok stream, and we're gonna get it popping. See if we can get some good debates going. But before I do, I'm gonna post the live on my Instagram story because I feel like I do like nothing with my Instagram story in the sense that like or like I just do nothing with Instagram. Like I don't utilize the platform very well. I just basically use it to repost my shorts and stuff. Um, like yeah, like my YouTube shorts and my TikToks I just repost on Instagram, which is probably not smart of me to do. If the if the goal is to grow, I don't. That's probably not smart because TikTok or sorry, not TikTok, Instagram. You guys don't know. If you don't follow me on Instagram, so you can't see or so you've never seen this before. Instagram is by far, literally by far, my biggest platform. Like by a lot. I don't necessarily know why, but it is right. So yeah, I need to like utilize the reach that I have on that platform better than I currently do. Yeah, Instagram is by fucking far my biggest platform. So we're gonna try to do a better job utilizing it. So yeah, let me fucking try to snag this thumbnail and post it up on my Instagram story. Maybe it'll get some people over here. Who knows? Yeah, I listen to almost exclusively metal. I actually have pretty much every song you have played on my playlist based. Fucking sick. I think. I would say who are my favorite bands? Electric Callboy is number one. That's not even debatable. That's like actually not debatable. That's definitely one, and then probably Knocked Loose. If we're going like top five, it's gonna be Electric Callboy, Knocked Loose, probably Spirit Box at three, probably maybe Falling in Reverse at four or five, somewhere in there. They're definitely top five. And then okay, I figured it out. I got it. I got it. It just hit me. It hit me like a truck. Here you go. You ready? Electric Callboy, Knocked Loose, Motionless in White, Spirit Box, Falling in Reverse. That's the order. Boom. Nailed it. Nailed it. Got it. Okay. Anyway, post it. Let's get this fucking story posted so we can start the TikTok live and get going. Alex is on fire. Is that a band that I just don't know of? What up? Let's see. I got fucking Apple Music open right here. Alex is. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. Never heard of them. No idea who this is. All their top songs were like 2006, 2002, 2004. So probably that's probably why they escaped me. Shit, I know too many bands to pick. I listen to. Yeah, there is that issue. But I feel like right now, my number one is definitely clear as day. It's definitely Electric Callboy. It is not up for debate. They're number one for me by a lot. Okay. Anyway, let's get this posted. What should I say? What should the caption be? Um, we we are live right now debating Rumples. Rumples? Rumples. Come hang out All right, boom. Attach the link to this bitch. Link, attach. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I need to utilize Instagram better, dude. Instagram's a weird platform for me. Instagram lives in this like weird space in my mind where it's simultaneously the most useful platform and the least useful platform. Yeah, it like occupies this weird space. Because on the one hand, this is the platform where I have the most reach by far, like in terms of just people seeing my shit. Like when I post a story, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that at least 2,000 people are going to see it. And when I post a video, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that at least like 10 to 50,000 people are going to see it. But at the same time, there's really no monetization on Instagram, so there's no money to be made on that platform at all. And so it simultaneously is like the most useful because I can reach the most, or I can, get my content in front of the most eyeballs there. But there's no possible way to make money, at least not right now for me on that platform. So it's like, oh, it's the most useful, but also the least useful. Spirit Box Boundaries, Valiant Hearts, Kill Switch Engage, Silent Planet, in no particular order. Some based picks. All right, let's get the TikTok live started, and let's see if we can get some fucking goober trumples to come up here and talk, shall we? All right, I'm about to click go live on TikTok. I want you guys to know, before, like, just a little PSA before I do this. For one, for those of you that are here on YouTube and Twitch, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys watching on the long form platforms on YouTube and Twitch. I do appreciate that a fucking absolute ass load. Seriously, even though like we have way less viewers on Instagram and TikTok, or sorry, on Instagram and YouTube. Like obviously that's pretty much always going to be the case. I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Like one YouTube viewer is like, in my eyes at least, like one YouTube viewer is like the equivalent of like 25 TikTok viewers. So I appreciate those of you that watch over here, okay? You guys are fucking ballers, all right? But with all of that being said, when I'm live on TikTok, I usually have like between like 150 and 300 viewers. So the chat moves much faster. And so my eyeballs tend to just kind of gravitate to the TikTok chat, okay? And that's where we're actually like having the debates and talking to people, okay? So it's not that I do not see it's not that I don't see what you guys are saying. It's not that I don't appreciate the longer form, like those two platforms as much. In fact, I appreciate YouTube and Twitch viewers more. But my eyes just gravitate to the TikTok chat because it moves so much faster. And there's so many more people there, and that's where we're doing the debates and stuff, okay? So if I don't read YouTube and Twitch chat as much, you guys are still goated, okay? It's only because of that. But I'll also caveat, in between conversations, like, while we're on the phone, while we're sitting there talking to a person, I don't read chat like at all. And so if it seems like I'm ignoring something you're saying, it's probably because we're having conversations. But once I hang up on the person and we switch, and we're about to bring up a new person, that's when I'll go through and read everything you guys have been saying. Okay, all right. I just want to say that real quick. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't really read chat while we're having conversations, and also the TikTok chat moves so fast, my eyes kind of gravitate there. Okay. Anyway, let's do it. We are live on TikTok. See if we can get some people up here to chit chat. Okay. I wonder if there actually is a way to integrate the TikTok chat into OBS at all, where like the people, like the chat on TikTok would also pop up on the side of my screen along with YouTube and Twitch people. I've never that thought has never even occurred to me until literally just now. I don't know if that's possible at all. Is that a thing you can do? Can you integrate TikTok chat into Twitch or into OBS at all? If anybody happens to know anything about that, let me know. I would actually like to do that. I would like to do that. Not sure which is more embarrassing, the flag on your wall or the paint on that door molding. Wait, where's the paint? Oh, that? Did we? We kind of fucked it up. But the flag is not embarrassing. And if you don't like the American flag, you're Never mind. I'm live on TikTok right now. I can't be too mean. My account will get banned. I learned a very valuable lesson from that last ban we got. I don't know if you guys have noticed the last couple lives we've done, last couple streams. I learned a really very valuable lesson from that one live. That one live where we caught the week ban, the week-long ban. I learned a fucking lesson that day. And I have been much better. I have been much more contained and much better ever since. The US is an evil country, as should be more apparent than ever. Disagree. All right. Embarrassing troll. Big troll. What's up, Milos? How's it going? How are you? All right. Does anyone want to come up and chit chat? Does anyone want to fucking bring the heat today? Yesterday wasn't too bad. I don't know. Those of you that were here yesterday, I think yesterday was solid.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting that incredible that people are like, oh, there's an ICE agents on every street and everyone's getting deported when Trump has actually deported fewer people than Biden did or Obama. And yet not everyone was making a freak show out of that. Like the media wasn't going nuts about it, basically enforcing laws. Now I can say, yeah, we need to fix our immigration problem. Yeah, many of these people are nonviolent. That is true. However, breaking the law is breaking the law. Regardless of how we feel, and if you want to change those laws, then you need to win elections, and you need to go about doing it through legislation. I mean, the problem is that Democrats think, oh yeah, so they don't want to admit that we have consequences. Look, I'm a Harris voter. I voted for Harris. I'd vote for Harris again. I wasn't so sold on Tim Walz though. But look, the fact is that we're out there protesting what? Protesting ICE agents everywhere? There's not ICE agents everywhere. We do need to fix our immigration system, but to do that, we need bipartisan support to do that. And this isn't the right way to do it. And we're giving Trump what he wants because this is the elephant in the room. Trump is great at identifying what the American people are very upset about. American people are very upset about this. This is not a winning issue for Democrats. We need to step back and say, hey, look, you know what? This is an L. We're giving Trump everything he wants. We are giving, march out with those Mexican, those Palestinian flags, That is just going to help the Republicans eightfold. We are doing everything we can to
Okay, I muted you. You can unmute yourself, but I'm just going to make this point. Make a point that we can talk about and stop fucking filibustering. Let's go. Make a point.
I'm not filibustering. I'm saying that Democrats
two sentences. Two sentences. Your biggest gripe that we can actually have a discussion about. Go.
Our biggest gripe why can't we have a discussion about that?
No, so whatever you want to actually have a discussion about. Give
it
to me in a few sentences.
I'm having a discussion about the fact that I think Democrats have picked the wrong issue.
Okay, all right. I'm just making the point that you just threw down like 15 points that I could.
Well, okay,
we could break off and talk about any of them.
Okay, go ahead.
For one, you're starting from like a fundamental misunderstanding. The first thing you brought up immediately out the gate was number of deportations. You're like, oh well, they're protesting ICE agents on every single corner when Obama and Biden deported more people. True, Obama and Biden did deport more people. In fact, Trump, in terms of efficiency and actually getting people out, in numbers wise, Trump's fucking garbage at deportations. The numbers have literally nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. 0% of the issue here is numbers. It's method. It's method all the way across the board. 100% method. No one. I mean, not nobody. There's people that would rather have 0 deportations, but I also think those people are kind of crazy.
How are they deporting them more easily? They were deporting them the same way. The difference is media coverage.
They're not deporting them the same way.
Yeah, they are deporting them exactly the same way.
Not deporting them exactly the same way.
The only difference is how the media is covering this and the degree to which they're covering it. That's the only difference.
I'm sorry. At what point exactly did Obama and Biden activate the Alien Enemies Act?
Do a Google search of how much coverage Obama and Biden received.
Yeah, we're not talking about coverage. We're talking about method.
Exactly the same things. Okay.
You'd have to contend with. I'm trying. Okay. Would you like to contend with what I'm saying or no? Are you gonna continue with what I'm saying?
You're lying though.
At what point? Yes or no? This is a yes or no question. Did Obama or Biden? This is a yes or no question. Did Biden or Obama use the Alien Enemies Act at any point in their presidency?
They didn't need to.
This is a yes or no question. Did
An
Obama or
overstayer
Biden?
on
This is
your
a yes or
visa,
no
if
question. This is
you
a yes or no
overstay on your
question. This is a
visa
yes or
or
no
you're
question. This is a yes or
illegally, they
no
don't
question.
need
This is a
to.
yes or no question. Did
They didn't
Obama or
need
Biden?
to.
This is a yes or no question. Did
They didn't
Obama or
need to.
Biden? This
They
is a yes or
deported
no question.
nonetheless.
Okay. You're gonna talk. You're gonna have a conversation with me, or you're not. Those are the two options you have available to you. You can talk to me, or you can not talk to me. That's it. There's no third option where you filibuster on my stream. Okay. Hey, what's going on? What do you want to talk about?
How's it going, buddy? But quick question. Well, I consider myself an independent.
Okay.
I voted for Obama. Love Obama.
Okay.
Voted for Trump this time around.
Okay.
I just thought he was best, for now, I guess.
Okay.
In what way do you think he's destroying the Constitution? Because I hear, and it's not just from the left. I hear it from the right. There's always fear mongering, no matter who's the president. I don't feel like my constitutional rights are being destroyed.
Yeah, it never feels that way, right? It never really feels that way until it starts happening. So the problem with constitutional, not the that almost slipped up there. Not the problem with constitutional rights. The lovely part about constitutional rights is they're across the board applicable, at least in their base sense, right? Like, people always want to go to the thing of due process rights for every single person is not the same. Like, the due process rights between a citizen and a non-citizen are actually different. There's some subtle differences, but at base level, the right, the right even existing at all is universal across the board. It at least protects everyone in some way. Okay, and if you allow an administration to create a bucket, a category in which we say, okay, actually, that amendment or that part of the Constitution actually doesn't apply to this bucket of people that are here, then you're opening the door. Now that the option to do that, the ability to create buckets in which certain rights just straight up do not apply to people at all, that door's been opened, that exists now. So if you say, okay, listen, if you're not an American citizen, you actually do not have due process rights anymore. Okay, well then what happens? What happens down the line when they just start labeling people as non-citizens without due process, right? Inherently, the way in which you would prove like that to not be true, if the government or an administration says that you aren't a citizen, the way in which you would prove that they're lying and they're making that up and you actually are is going to be through due process. But if you've allowed the bucket to be created, where if they say that now you don't have that right anymore, well, now you're fucked.
Right. I think I understand what you're saying, but I think I would say I can't say all people, but I do think most people would understand that, they're not going to come in and say, okay, well, you're not a citizen. We're just going to label you not a citizen.
I understand that you feel, I get that I get the feeling that you have of like, well, I just don't feel like they would do that. It's not really about whether you feel like anyone would do a thing. It's about
they could,
about even creating a world in which they could. You don't want to. You don't even want to live in a world where they could do it. Whether or not you believe they would, that's fine. That's a whole separate topic or a whole separate discussion we could have of whether or not we believe that this administration would do such a thing.
And that's the part where I say the over exaggeration or fear mongering. It's not going to happen. I live the way I live is it's not gonna happen unless it happens. Like, I'm not gonna worry about something that possibly could potentially happen and be so consumed with that fear as far as just that's not gonna happen. Like, I don't understand the no king or how some people have created this, dialogue with themselves or amongst each other that, he's a king, or I don't understand where all that came from. Maybe that's just because I'm not, I don't think that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it came from the.
He ain't never said it.
Yeah, I know. Well, not directly. It spawns from the repeated.
That's the part where not directly or thinking of potentially possible hypotheticals. He doesn't say it. He knows that it can't happen. Now, like I said, I voted for him. Do I agree with everything 100%? No.
I would also I'm just going to cut you off. I would completely disagree with you on the premise that he doesn't believe you said like, well, he knows it can't happen. I do not believe that at all. I think he's been pretty clear that he firmly, wholeheartedly believes he can do whatever he wants.
Him believing that he can do whatever he wants and him actually knowing, like, I believe I can do a lot of things, but I know I can't. It's impossible. I just don't think. I'm half white. My family, the rest, my dad's side of the family is Mexican. My grandparents were from Mexico. They migrated over here. They came over here the legal way. They went through the paperwork, the process. They were farmers. Lived agriculture, did all that stuff. I've gotten some slack from that side of the family, from a couple of family members, because I voted for Trump. Do I agree 100% with the things that he's doing as far as, the tactics, immigration, whatever? No, I don't. Did I think, this is going to calm down and he's going to backtrack? Absolutely. I've said it before. And he posted a tweet saying the same thing, that he wants to, go back on the aggressiveness when it comes to people that are working in agriculture, people that are working in hotels and that kind of stuff. He knows that that's not the right way to do what he's doing.
Well, he backed off of certain categories of people. Like, he
Right.
backed off in the sense that he was like, okay, we won't touch this category of person. That's not
Right.
even the problem. Is that's actually not what's at issue here. It's not like the issue. The reason when you talk about like people, protesting the immigration strategy and people being mad about the immigration strategy, it was never about like trying to protect a certain category of immigrant. It wasn't like, okay, like, what we're mad about is the farmers. That's not the problem. So him backing off of that is immaterial. Like, I don't give a fuck at all. He could back off of certain categories of people and say, we're not going to touch these guys. Okay, fine. But as long as the methodology stays the same for everyone else, then we're still going to have the same issue. And I still do have the same issue.
Well, I honestly, I wouldn't care how aggressive he got when it comes to people that not him, but whoever's out there, the ones that are actually out in the streets, going and doing these raids or going and arresting people. If they understood, or they knew without a doubt that these are not just people that came here illegally, but people that are over here doing illegal things.
Sure.
People that are over here. Like, I won't give a damn how aggressive he got.
Yeah, well, if you're over here, the problem is we've already fixed this issue. Like, if you come here undocumented and then you commit crimes, like, it's really easy to deport you because, well,
right.
I mean, like, it should be, right? If you're gonna come over here and you're in the country undocumented and then you're doing crimes on top of it, yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get those people out. The problem is we've fixed the issue. We've created a process to deal with that exact issue. We've created a deportation process. And Trump just ignores it, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the problem here. The breaking of laws. I find it ironic that part of the appeal here, you never said it directly, but I'm making an assumption, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, okay?
Right.
But I'm making an assumption based on what you're saying, that part of your fundamental belief of why immigration strategy is okay, because you see, you're basing it on like a justice type of position of like, well, look, they broke the law, they got to go, right? Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Okay. And with that being said, I do find it very ironic that the people that hold that belief, it's most of the people that come up here to talk to me about immigration, that is a fundamental part of their belief. Those of you that hold that belief, you get all up in arms and all uppity about the breaking of the law when it comes to entering the country illegally, and have nothing to say about the breaking of the law when it comes to the government and their actions.
No, listen, the crazy part is I believe the government, not just Trump, and not only him, but the government breaks more laws than all of us combined. I think
I agree, and I think you should have an issue with that. I think you should take issue with that.
I absolutely do, and it's not that doesn't come from. Again, I'm not. It's politics in this day and age is a lot different than from me growing up and observing it as a teenager. I voted for Trump. Then people are like, "Oh, well, you're MAGA. You're this." No, I'm not. I just voted for the dude. Again, voted for Obama. Loved Obama. Go back to that. That was kind of like the earliest part where I started really paying attention to politics as a younger person. I believe, like you said, they break the law all the time. Who is it that can hold them accountable and really, you know, I guess fix that?
The government like violating the law?
Right.
Yeah, the people, the courts, Congress.
But there's and that's the
Options.
really, I would say that's the you're right, but it's disheartening because most people are so divided it doesn't matter. Like somebody in there just put right now, oh well, you voted for him, you're MAGA. You see what I'm saying? We put each other and separate each other as opposed to uniting and, you know, going against the corruption of the government, whether it's voting people in or out. Having these people sit and having the seats for such long terms that they're there. What is it, 12 years that they're able to be up there?
Who?
The people in Congress, the congressmen and women. Is that 12 years?
Their terms are 2 and 6 for reps to senators.
2 and 6?
Yeah.
What was it? I have a lot going on in my brain, but what was it that he was trying to knock it down from 12 to 6?
I have no
idea. You said it was 2 of 6?
So reps are 2-year terms. Senators are 6.
And how many times can they be voted for the 6?
Senators have term limits? Are you making one of us is making shit up in their heads? I don't know if it's you or me. I'm pretty sure it's you. I'm pretty sure it's unlimited.
It might.
There is no term. So far as I know, there's not. I just want to. I'm gonna rein us back in here. Okay. I think all of this is immaterial. In terms of, I'll quickly address one of the things you said. In terms of like you being upset that people are just like, oh, you're MAGA, you're MAGA, you're MAGA. I don't always. Okay, look, I don't necessarily subscribe to that belief system for the same reasons that some of the people in chat do. There are people in chat that are going to say that if you voted for Trump, then you're MAGA forever, and there's no way you can get that off. Like, you know, you can never drop that label. I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, you could have voted for Trump in 2024, and then, you know, observed his actions and you know, been like, okay, this guy's. I didn't
vote for him in 2016.
I'm just saying, like a good person. I don't know if you know who he is. Richard Hanania comes to mind. He's a good example of someone. He voted for Trump. He's up. He does fucking. I don't know. He's a writer, Twitter guy. But he voted for Trump in 2024, and he had his reasons, and he was pretty articulate and open about those reasons. And then after a couple months of Trump's presidency, he was like, okay, yep, this is fucked. Okay, I take it back. I apologize. I shouldn't have voted for him. Okay, whatever. Right. So I don't agree with chat or some of the people in chat that are saying like, well, you voted for him, boom, you're a MAGA forever, and there's nothing you can do. Okay, you can if you flip, then you're not MAGA anymore, of course, right?
Right.
That being said, this is all immaterial, and I want to bring it back to where we started. Okay.
Right.
Your issue is that you
where
don't
you
think,
started just kind of with your prompt. I don't believe he's destroying the Constitution as a whole. Absolutely not.
Okay. Now here we go. This is
I
the actual conversation at hand. Okay.
Right. I think we're as an American citizen, I believe I'm absolutely safe under the Constitution.
What would it take for you to change your mind?
It would have to take something extremely catastrophic that it affected the people of America as a whole.
What if he decided he was gonna, 2028 comes around, and he's like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna run for a third term. Would that be enough?
Absolutely. Then that would. There's no way in hell I'm going to vote for him.
What if he started sending like American citizens to CCOT, the prison in El Salvador?
If
yeah, I said, what if he did? Would that be enough?
What do you mean? Would that be enough for what?
For you to say that he's tearing down the Constitution?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That would.
So we've identified 2 things that you would say would be enough to change your mind on this. Where you'd say, okay, yes, this president is destroying the Constitution. Okay. But what you've seen so far is not enough. And this isn't meant to be like this isn't meant to come off any sort of way. Like, it's gonna sound a certain way, and it's not meant to. It's just identifying an objective fact. Okay. Some of the very things that would be at the core of your issue. Let's take the sending American citizens to CCOT thing, right? Part of the things that would be at the core of that issue of why it would be destruction of the Constitution for a president to do something like that. Some of the core principles there are already occurring, but you don't care about them as much because it's happening to people that aren't you, people that you can't identify with.
Well, who's being sent to a prison in El Salvador?
Well, I mean, he sent fucking two or three plane loads of immigrants to the prison
That are American citizens?
I do understand my issue there. I said immigrants, and that's not necessarily descriptive enough. No, non-citizens.
Well, then what you said that it would be if it was American citizens being sent.
I said yes, but I said part of the reason that would be so horrible, and that you would be able to identify that as a as like destruction of the Constitution. Part of the some of those same exact principles apply in this case too, but it's harder to identify those, or you seem unable to identify like what's actually wrong there. What's the problem? Why is this bad, and why is this unconstitutional? Because it's immigrants, because it's non-citizens, because they aren't American citizens. It's harder for you to identify the fundamental problem.
Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So these things that you would have a problem with if they happen to citizens are already happening now, but the only like differentiating factor in your mind is citizen versus non-citizen, even though the principles don't change at all. The principles of the principles of due process and the Eighth Amendment.
I believe that in this entire conversation, not just here, but overall, is that does matter to most people.
I understand it believes in. I totally, absolutely sympathize with you on this. I do get that it matters to most people. What I'm saying is that it shouldn't. I do get.
You're saying it shouldn't matter.
I understand that it does, but what I'm saying is it shouldn't. That shouldn't be. That difference shouldn't be the make or break for you. Which the make or break for you should be the principle, the underlying principle of we have we give people due process in this country. That's just what we do. We have an Eighth Amendment that is supposed to prevent the government from issuing cruel and unusual punishments. That's just what we do. And that whether or not they're a citizen should not be your factor where you're like, well, I don't care anymore.
I got to run. My wife's home, but I understand completely what you're saying. Number one, number two, this is my first time coming across your live. I absolutely respect the dialogue. Speaking to people about this topic is sensitive for a lot of people, and you get a lot of yelling and cussing and name calling. So, because my wife, so I might have to go. But I appreciate 100%. I'm going to give you a follow.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Now come back on whenever you want to.
Yep.
Right, have a good one. All right. What is fucking YouTube chat been saying? Andrew lays a premise and you immediately interrupt. Yeah, it's usually how it goes. Anywhere we with people, it's like words you use don't reflect what you mean, and it pollutes the conversation. You're trying to debate a dude in a YouTube live stream chat when you think human rights are being violated using your money. Well, I mean, getting people more aware. The problem is, Kenny, the issue here is that a humongous portion of the country, I believe that human rights are being violated. The humongous portion of the country does not. So that message has to get out first. There's nothing I can do. What do you want me to do, Kenny? You want me to fucking... Never mind. TOS. Never mind. TOS. Okay. Point being, as an individual, there's not a whole lot you can do when the whole fucking governmental apparatus is doing something immoral. An individual can't do a whole ton, barring TOS. But you get a movement going, you're good to go. Good to go. I mean, it still takes a lot of work. All right, next caller. Next. Oh, there was none, or there is none. There was a point in that conversation that I was having with, oh my God, I forgot his name already. I apologize. The last guy, where there was like 5 people in the waiting list. They all fucking pieced. Okay, well, while we're waiting for another person to come up, Adrian, I would be totally down for you to come up, if you can muster the spine for it. I would love it if you would come up. But while we're waiting for another MAGA to enter the chat, how are you guys doing today? What's going on? How are you guys? I appreciate you guys being here. Okay. By the way, I just want to point out little shill time. The link to my Discord is in my link tree in my bio. You guys should join the Discord. You should also go subscribe on YouTube and follow on Twitch if you're a TikTok viewer. Subscribe on the more stable platforms. That would be lovely. Oh, speaking of lovely, that's hilarious timing. Lovely68 sent a heart me and 40 roses. Thank you, lovely. That's so funny that as soon as I said the fucking word, that's so funny. As soon as I said the word lovely, a person named Lovely sent 40 roses and a heartbeat. Reyes, thank you for the, it's still calculating, so I can't actually see how many it is. 21 roses. Thank you, Reyes. Halfway through the rose gift goal. Oh, and I was going to say we're at 8 out of 10 subscribers. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I got off my train of thought. You should join the Discord. And if you join the Discord server and you link your TikTok account and you are a subscriber, if you are subscribed on TikTok, we're at 8 out of 10 subs, or 10 is the subscriber goal. We're at 8 right now. But if you link your TikTok account to your Discord, you'll automatically get the fucking subscriber roll and join the subscriber only channels and stuff if you'd like to. Anyway, let's see if we can get a next person up here. Next person, next caller, next debater. I don't know what the correct word here is. Did I fucking delete? What did I have open? I had something open on my main monitor and I accidentally closed it. And now I can't remember what it was. And it doesn't look like I have any tabs open that were whatever I had open over here. I don't know. Reyes, holy shit, Reyes sent 20 more roses and then another 13. 33 more in total. Thank you, Reyes. I appreciate you. Also, I appreciate all the follows, guys. We are gaining, like, we're fucking moving up in the world pretty quick in terms of, like, followers. Like, pretty quickly. My God. Jay Gerhardt, thank you for the $4.99 super chat on YouTube. Those watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. True and base. Thank you for the super chat, Jay Gerhardt. Oh, that was another thing I was going to say. If you're an avid YouTube viewer and you want to become a member, you can always do that as well. Indeed, members, YouTube members get to watch all the videos, all of the YouTube videos, like at least 24 hours early, sometimes more. Sometimes I like post a video like a week in advance, so then you get to watch it as soon as it's uploaded, a week early. Anyway, guys, if you're watching in the TikTok live right now, nobody's requesting to come up, bro. The MAGAs are terrified today. They're so scared. Oh, Adrian, I think I kind of instantly forgot, but I think you said to invite you, so I will. Let's see. I invited you, Adrian. So if you do want to come up, put a request button back up. The request button's still there. You just have to go to the bottom right corner and click the little button. And Adrian accepted the invite anyway, so we're good. What's up?
What's up, man?
Not much. I think the thing I saw you say in chat that I said you should come up was about J6ers not having due process. Am I correct in that?
Possibly.
Okay.
And they really didn't. I mean, half of them didn't even get a trial. They didn't get a speedy trial. That's due process, man.
I think you probably have a bit of a fundamental misunderstanding of what due process actually is.
And it's not for illegal aliens. They don't have amendments. They're not citizens. They don't have a constitution.
The Constitution protects non-citizens too.
The Constitution when they broke the law entering illegally.
What part of the? Can you like cite me to the section of the Constitution that talks about illegal immigration?
If you're a part of a foreign invasion, you're committed treason. That's treason.
Okay,
especially
so one person.
Them all here.
One person coming across the so you have one individual that just like comes across the border.
No, that's not an invasion.
Right.
22 million. That's an invasion.
Okay. So again, I'm just gonna ask. I guess I'm gonna ask this question until you either say you can't or you do it. Can you cite me to the part of the Constitution that talks about immigration?
I can't. Can you?
No, because there isn't one.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? Illegal aliens?
You said they broke. You said when they came over. I'm sorry. I'm talking. You said when they came over, they violated the Constitution. Now you just said there is no part of the
They
Constitution that talks
invaded
about
our country.
immigration.
They are enemies of the state. What are you talking about?
Do you know what an invasion is? Do you know how to like define invasion?
Yeah, 22 million, over 20 million people. That's an invasion. Definition.
Okay, so if it was
What are
19,
you
so if it
talking
was
about?
19 million people, then it's not an invasion.
No, that's an invasion.
So if it was
Anything
18 million
past
people,
like 5 million, bro, that's an invasion, dude. And then
you're
the
telling me if
Democrats
4
use
million
them as
people,
voters,
if 4
bro. That's the
million people
crazy shit.
marched across our border, then
Do
that's
you
not an
remember
invasion?
Democrats trying to pass
Jesus.
legislation allowing illegal aliens to vote in our elections without being naturalized or without even being here more than a year?
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with due process?
Democrats trying to pass legislation for illegal aliens to be allowed to vote in our elections. You don't remember that?
That has something to do with due
That's why
process.
they're all
How?
here. It ain't because they love illegals.
That
Or
has
they
something to
love
do with
migrants.
that has something to
because
do
they
with due
love
process.
votes.
How? What does that have to do with due process? I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
just
a
not
fact,
understanding.
bro. You don't remember?
Wait, what does that have to do with
Where
due
were you
process?
living the last 4 years?
Wait, I'm so sorry. What does that
Say
have
no.
to do with due process? Does your neck hurt?
Does your brain hurt?
I just want to know if
I
you're
doubt
if you
you
need
have
do you need
one,
to go to
bro.
like a chiropractor for the amount of
So you
damage done to your
lost
neck
then?
every time you pivot?
So you're gonna take the L?
Are you unable to have a conversation? Is that impossible for you?
I've been answering questions this whole time. You're just crying.
I don't think you've answered anything.
I didn't,
I'm pretty sure you've answered no questions.
bro. Your comments are going wild. They just take the truth.
What exactly prevents what part of the Constitution prevents non-citizens from having like due process rights? Where does it say that in the Constitution?
What part gives them due process rights? What are you talking about?
The
They're
part
not
where it says
citizens, man. They're not Americans. They don't have a constitution.
all right.
If you're from
do
El
this, we'll do this.
Salvador,
We'll do this
you
on the
don't have a
fundamental. We'll do this on the
constitution, bro.
fundamental level. Okay. Do you understand? Do you know the roles of the three branches of government?
Okay, do you know the rules on fucking mislabeled business expenses turning
I didn't
into
say
a fucking
rules.
felony
I
from a
didn't say
misdemeanor?
rules. I didn't say rules. I said you
Laws,
know
do
the
you know the laws?
roles. What are the roles?
Bro,
What is each
okay,
branch
so
of our government
since
supposed
Trump
to do?
didn't break
What are
any
the
law
roles of the three
before
branches
the
of government?
24 or 40
What are
whatever
the roles
misdemeanors,
of the three
they're
branches of
only
government?
misdemeanors, bro.
What are the
They're
roles
not
of
they're
the
not
three
felonies.
branches
You
of
have to
government?
break
What are the
you have to
roles of the
you have
three
to
branches of
commit a
government? What
felony
are the
for those to
roles of the
become
three branches of
felonies.
government? What are the
They're
roles of the three
misdemeanors, bro.
branches of government?
Separations of power right now that the Democrats are breaking, those are not that's not how it works, bro.
What are the
Democrats
roles?
are anti-constitution and anti-America.
What are the roles of the three branches of government?
I don't know. Could you explain them? You're the genius.
Well, I just want you to. I want to see what your interpretation of
I
the
just
three
said
branches
I don't
are.
know. Explain.
You don't know any of the three branches?
You're the genius. Are you not?
What are the roles of the three
Explain.
branches of government?
Bro, I just told you I don't know. Explain.
I don't believe you. I think you do know.
I don't.
I think you do.
Why would I say I don't if I do?
So you
That doesn't make sense.
wholeheartedly have no idea what the roles of each branch is.
Exactly. I have no idea.
Okay, so then if that's the case, if you truly don't even know the three branches of government, in what fucking universe do you think you're even like 1% qualified to talk about anything politics related?
You can't talk about it either. You're just acting like I don't know, but you have no answer. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I believe it was my question to you, correct?
And you can't even answer it.
Why would I
So
answer
don't
my
ask
question
questions
to
you can't
you?
answer.
Why would the fuck would I answer the question that I have for you?
Exactly. Why are you trying to catch me in a fucking gotcha when you can't even answer it yourself? Doesn't even make sense.
Do you interpret it as a gotcha to ask what the three branches of government are?
Bro, you still think the 34 misdemeanors are felonies. You and everybody in this live. What are you talking about? Y'all don't understand.
Wait,
how
why
shit works.
did a jury of 12 people convict him?
Because the corrupt Democrats? What do you mean?
The corrupt
Half
Democrats.
of them are owned by Soros.
The corrupt
Bro,
Democrats are
half
the
these
reason that
federal
12
judges
juries,
are
12
passing
jury
bunk
members of his peers
legislation
convicted
to
voted.
fucking undermine Trump, the president of the United States.
Wait, why did
He was elected, bro.
why did a
All
jury
these
convict
federal
him?
judges, they were not.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Why did a jury convict him?
Because they're corrupt,
They're corrupt,
owned
and
by
that's why.
Soros. You don't know that?
God damn it! What did he say? Fuck! I wanted to keep trolling that guy. Guys, he got a live violation, so I had to kick him. God damn it. Wait, what did he say? Can I go back and look and see what that live violation was for? Is there a way that I can do that? Does it like catalog these anywhere where I can go back and look? What the fuck? Hold up. I'm gonna see. We have another requester. I'm gonna accept in a second. I'm gonna go back and see if if I can look in my system notifications and see. Does it tell you why the person got a violation anywhere? System. No, it doesn't. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Tell me why. Well, I mean, it tried to tell me why. I just didn't read it. I didn't read it. Whenever those pop up for guests, whenever it says like your guest has received a live violation, I just click kick immediately because I'm like, nope, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. I'm so scared of my fucking account getting banned now. That 1 week ban I got really changed the way I like interact with stuff like the violations on here. As soon as the second it says violation, I'm like, oh nope, wasn't me. Sorry. Anyway, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
So, hey, how are you?
I'm absolutely lovely. What's going on with you?
I'm good. I think it's just those immigrants. I think they should go back to their country.
That's not inconsistent. That belief isn't even inconsistent with what I believe. Like, you can have my belief and yours at the same time.
Oh, what do you believe?
I believe that the government especially, the citizens too, for sure, but especially the government should follow the laws of the country.
So what felonies does he have? Because I'm pretty sure they're all fake.
That's not even what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Like at all. Like,
Oh.
yeah, when I say the government, I mean like the governmental apparatuses. Like, well, I mean the president in his official capacity. Yeah, I'm not talking about like Trump's like personal. He was convicted of felonies, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean the government in its actual like professional capacity should follow the laws.
I mean,
He just left. All right, lovely. Next. He was just like, okay, and I just left. God damn it. There's another situation where when I accepted that guy, there was like 4 people in the queue, and then when I accepted him, people get pissed. It makes sense actually. Like people are just like, okay, well, I'll request, and then I accept someone else, and they're like, fuck it, not worth. Like, I'm not gonna wait. Oh, there we go. Huh? Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Good.
So what's
So
up?
why don't you like Donald Trump?
I generally there's going to be pretty much no universe in which I'm ever going to like a president that violates the Constitution on purpose.
He's not violating the Constitution.
Sick statement.
Everyone's getting due process. And we're deporting all the
Would you say-
undocumented. Let's go.
Would you say you have like a decent explanation as to why SCOTUS disagrees with you on that?
SCOTUS doesn't agree. What you're talking about, Garcia?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, they did say that he wasn't given
Yeah,
due
well,
process, but
Garcia's
also
being brought back on human trafficking. So
yeah, but okay, so contend with JGG. What about that case? Is there a reason that they disagree with you?
which case?
JGG v. Trump.
Who's that?
It's not a who. It's a class of an entire group of people.
And how's it a class of people?
So have you ever heard of a class action lawsuit?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Next.
And what was the result from that?
What was the result? Like, what did they rule?
Yeah.
In terms of the actual judgment in that case was just about, it was just a venue disagreement, but one of the findings in the case was that all the people sent to El Salvador on March 15th that was all done without due process. Like, do you think you'd be able to, if you truly wholeheartedly in your big old heart of hearts, you truly believe that everyone that's been deported has been given due process? Do you think you could like read through that case and like and see SCOTUS's arguments and contend with them at all, or do you think you'd just be like, fuck, you're right?
Obama didn't give everyone due process.
Huh?
Obama didn't give everyone due process.
Damn. You need to go to the hospital? Is your neck broken after that pivot?
It's not a pivot.
Well, I asked you a direct question, and then you pivoted to Biden didn't give people
Yeah,
due
so
process.
he expedited the process, and Trump's just following what he expedited. So he's not, again, every person that's been brought out of the country has gone through what would be considered due process.
Are you aware that Obama used laws that Congress passed to allow for expedited removal, and
Yeah, so did Trump.
they've been deemed to be constitutional?
So did Trump.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The expedited removal processes are granted by the INA.
Yeah,
IN
which was
are you
granted under
aware?
Obama.
Are
It
you
was still in
are you
effect, but-
aware? Are you aware that the INA and the Alien Enemies Act are two entirely different laws? Or is that something you're aware of?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So do you want to amend your statement?
Nope.
Okay.
Because
So,
again, it's
so you think that
you're
you think
saying
the
two
two
different
examples,
things.
you think your example of Obama using expedited removal and my example of the Alien Enemies Act deportations are exactly the same, whilst you
No, I said they're
you
two different.
simultaneously recognize that those are two different
Fuck me
laws.
off. I said they're two different things.
Okay, so Obama's expedited
I'm
removal
saying-
deportations and
I'm
Trump's
saying he's
Alien
using
Enemies Act
Obama's
deportations were
expedited-
not the same, right?
He's using Obama's expedited process to deport undocumented
Oh,
immigrants.
watch out
That's
there! He
it.
almost slipped up. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is, and you don't have any proof to say otherwise.
Well, I have SCOTUS agreeing with me.
Again, you're talking about March 15th.
Yep.
What exactly it's going to say? They didn't receive due process.
Yep.
Why'd they say that?
You want me to just read it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, JGD versus Trump. All right. We have held that an individual subject to detention and removal under that statute, Alien Enemies Act, is entitled to judicial review as to questions of interpretation and constitutionality of the act, as well as whether he or she is in fact an alien enemy 14 years of age or older. Today's order and per curiam confirmed that the detainees subject to removal orders under the Alien Enemies Act are entitled to notice and an opportunity to challenge their removal. And they weren't given that, so what's up?
They were given that.
Okay. Quote, 3 weeks ago, the federal government started sending scores of Venezuelan immigrants detained in the United States to a foreign prison in El Salvador. It did so
Okay.
without any due process of law.
Without any due process of law. So what's due process of law in your eyes?
Well, I'm not talking about my eyes right now. I'm talking about SCOTUS's eyes.
What's due process in SCOTUS's eyes?
Well, I think, do you remember the part where I read it to you?
So, yeah, you said
I'll run it back. We'll reread, okay?
They didn't get a hearing.
All right. Entitled to judicial review as to questions of interpretation and constitutionality of the act, as well as whether he or she is, in fact, an alien enemy 14 years of age or older. That was overturned. You can't. I don't know if you are aware of this, David, but this is SCOTUS, and it absolutely has not been fucking overturned. Thank you. All right. Sorry. That was. I generally try to not react to chat while I'm having a conversation with somebody.
Not
I
being
apologize.
appealed right now?
Huh?
Is it being appealed?
You can't. You don't appeal SCOTUS decisions. Where would you appeal to? SCOTUS is the last stop. Where the fuck would you? Where would your appeal go?
Maybe they made a mistake.
I mean, then and they have
Because
the
again,
ability
they
to.
went-
They
they
have
went in front of-
they have the chance to overturn in a
If you
follow up
look,
case if they
went in
want.
front of an immigration judge. What other due process do they need?
Oh well, I guess that's where your misunderstanding was. The people that the people in question here didn't go in front of an immigration judge.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so show me some evidence of that.
Because everyone that is getting deported goes in front of an immigration judge and doesn't have to take days on end. It takes 10 to 15 minutes, and he can just deport you on the spot. And that's called expedited process.
Expedited
right?
removal. That's
Yeah.
not what this was.
That is what that is. What are you talking
That's
about?
not what this is. Do you remember where do you remember what was it, maybe 90 seconds ago when I literally read this shit to you?
Yep. And you told me it was SCOTUS determined.
Okay.
Well, I'm telling you they're wrong.
All right.
So, yeah, there was no constitutional violation.
Because they went in front of a judge.
And the fact that you want to defend these people in the first place just shows your colors in the first place.
I want to defend the Constitution, and the fact that you won't defend
No,
the
you don't care
Constitution
about
shows
the
your color.
Constitution at
I
all, 'cause
only
when it
care
comes
about
to
the
the
Constitution.
When it comes to the Second Amendment, you don't care about it.
I absolutely care. How many
No,
guns?
there's
How many guns are in my house right now?
I don't know. Good
A
question.
lot. Shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, I hate people. Next, Doug. Oh my God, Doug. Hello.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
That's going great. What do you want to talk about?
Oh man, you're about the only person that I listen to. You're about the only person who has the patience to even go through all this every day. I give you kudos for that.
Oh hell yeah, man. I appreciate you.
Well, and I I think a lot about what you say and about a lot of the protesting, and I think it needs to keep being pushed because our Constitution is being threatened, and that's coming from a Trump supporter. I think that Trump is scared to go through a due process because he's scared that these judges will go against him because he thinks everybody in the world has a personal preference that they have to go against him. So it's kind of like trying to avoid the Constitution and avoiding, going through the process because he's scared that everybody's an activist against him. So you got to keep pushing towards getting him in compliance with the Constitution because there are big due processes that are being broken, and that's just a fact. And if any Trump supporter like me is denying that, then all they're doing is they're not looking at the whole picture, and they're not looking at our country's situation. Of course, there's so many people that had came across the border, and that's in the last 4 years that I don't know how within time you could give all those people due process in his 4-year tenure. It's probably not possible. And I think that's another objective that he's looking at, is that how much time do we have to do this? And then they start looking at the time and the resources and what it's going to take. And he don't have the patience for that, but he's going to have the patience for that. And if it carries on after his tenure, which has to end in 4 years, regardless, or we all have to push back. I mean, if we do not have a constitution, then we do not have a framework that will hold this country together. And holding this country together is already ripping at the seams.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if I've ever talked to a Trump supporter that actually has the that can actually acknowledge some of the constitutional issues at play here. So I can at least appreciate you for that. Secondly, it doesn't sound like you disagree with me, but I still want to point out, at least for the sake of chat, not for the sake of you, that time is never, ever, ever, ever going to be a valid excuse to violate the Constitution. So I hear that a lot from Trump supporters. It doesn't sound like you actually disagree with that, but
no, I mean it's exactly right. You can't destroy what has been, written and what is the founding principles of our country because you feel like in your in your administration that you have to get this done for the sake of, I don't even know what the sake of. I saw that he had basically retract on the fact that you can't deport vital workers. Like the lady, we had a tornado that came through our neighborhood 2 months ago. And I sat here and looked at this lady's house that needed a new roof that was all covered up in tarps, wondering. Then all of a sudden, somebody shows up, and it was the actual owner of the company, which is probably a 60-year-old man and his wife. And I asked, and it took them a month, and I said, what's going on? He said that every one of his workers, they can't even find them. They're not even working. They don't have any idea where they are. And that's, you put that on a grand scale across our country. There's so many vital workers that we need to make our economy run, that if Trump does not rescind on not deporting vital workers that we need for our economy to grow, for our sectors to be built and maintained, then you're just chopping us off at the knees. And that's just a fact. And if anybody cannot see that, and if we can't come together on that as a country, then we have no future, because there's countries out there that that have no ability to have free speech and the ability to express themselves and have opinions, that are steadily winning the future underneath their own governments, under their own autocracies. And we can't afford to be bogged down in the mud, not winning the future for our children and our grandchildren. It's already hard enough that when children get out of college, how are they going to afford a house that I bought 20 years ago that's 3 times the value in Arkansas? I mean, this is impoverished state to where housing is probably the most affordable, and it's getting unaffordable.
Okay, I just want to ask you something real quick. So it's cool that you recognize the dangers and the perils here. That's awesome. You said you voted for Trump. Do you,
Yes.
acknowledging the inherent dangers here and the constitutional violations occurring, do you still support Trump today?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he lied a lot. I think he put some things out there, but he didn't put out there that I was going to see a 10-year-old girl in handcuffs. He didn't put that we were going to see people chased down on the work site and deported on site. He put in that he was going to deport criminals and he was going to deport the people that were dangerous to society. There's a lot of things that he put out there that I thought that, in my mind, he didn't cross this many lines in 2016 to his presidency. Take out the COVID, that we can never ever put COVID into words and what it has done to our world and what it's doing to the world right now. So I can't explain that. I don't have a conversation for that, because that was something that we'll never be able to wrap our brains around in the end, because we don't know every intricate detail that led up to it and thereafter and where we are now because of it. But moving back before that, he was not this president. And to me, I think you should never have personal vendettas. You're a president. And I think he's going around and he's putting a personal vendetta against everybody who's ever come across him. I mean, like Governor Newsom. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal, and I'm especially have no mentality anywhere near a Californian, because I'm from Arkansas. It's part of, it's just part of being where you're raised at. But at the same scenario, those two and everybody should have a working relationship. And that's where I'm having a problem with him, and it carries over into the rest of the world. I knew that, we don't have our allies. We don't even really know who our allies are. We don't even really know where we stand if a world war does break out. We don't know where we would stand inside our own country. We don't know who came across this border. We have no idea. We're in uncharted waters, and I'm 50 years old, and we're in uncharted waters where we have, I would say, foreign wise for sure. Domestically, we've had 1969. You could go back and look at 1965 to 1969, the civil rights. Those times those were very, very concerning, extreme times. So this is not the first time for our country to be in peril like this. But I do think it's the first time in the last 100 years that we are in this kind of situation with our allies.
Yeah, I can agree. I feel like that doesn't get talked about as much. That's one of the things that's kind of on the back burner, just because of like all the issues that Trump has created domestically. Especially, when it comes to just ignoring court orders, deporting, like I feel like the ICE stuff is taking a lot of taking a lot of the attention right now, which is fair. It should be. I get it, but what he's done to our like relationships abroad is fucking unhinged. Yeah, it's not good.
It's just not. We're not in a good situation, and we're as a country. We shouldn't have to live and be in this kind of mindset every day to where we wake up and we have no idea. I'm not saying that everybody should be a Nostradamus and it should be the future should be that predictable. I'm not saying that, but we don't. Every day we're waking up to new things that are happening and that are basically tearing us, pulling us one way and then pulling us back the other way. That's a very stressful situation for a society that's already stressed post C-19. And I wish that I hope, this is what I hope about immigration, and this is what I really hope, that you don't go after the children. This children shouldn't be even a part of this. I mean, there shouldn't be, you shouldn't. I saw another video where they pulled up on a car, they hit the back of the car, the kind of stopped in front of the car, and then you open it up and there's a like a 1-year-old baby in there. And was it that important that you stopped him to the danger of those two children? I mean, you know where the guy is. He lives over here. I mean, there's a time and there's a place, but in the end, if he does not let the immigration come in and fill jobs, I'm not talking about picking strawberries. That's so degrading to people. I'm talking about jobs, whatever that job may be. We have to have those people to help fill those jobs, because if they're not being filled, then we're not growing. Our economy is not growing. Our sectors are not growing. Our taxes are not. I mean, it's not good for our country.
I agree. Most of the conservatives I talk to about immigration stuff never really want to wrestle with the economic issues, like they, putting the morality of like deporting fucking like kids, especially like I mean just deporting like kids in general, or deporting like teenagers that have been here since they were kids, or like like young. I saw a story the other day of like this 19-year-old girl, college girl that got arrested by ICE for to be deported. They had been here since she was like 7, and I'm like, do you like let's put aside the morality for a second. Like that's more, I would say it's morally wrong, but let's talk economics for a second. Like the idea that we have people that came here when they were little kids, they went through our public school system, so our tax dollars educated them, and now they're either in college or have already gone through college and have a degree. Like these are our fucking they come here, we educate them here, and then what? We're gonna fucking deport them right at this, like right before they start being like economically productive to the country. Really? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But putting aside the morality, I would still say it's wrong to do it at all, even if they weren't economically viable. But
yeah,
Jesus Christ, bro! Like we invested so much money into these fucking people. You're gonna deport them right before they start being economically productive? Really? Why?
There's no, and he didn't. When he was on the campaign trail, and he did say some disgusting things about immigrants, but it was always the criminals that we were going to do. It was always the gangs. It was always he never got up there and said, hey, we're going to deport people who have, U.S., even though they're not citizens that are in that are in good standing, but their children are, we're going to deport them too. He never said that. And anybody who says, well, you're voting, you're getting what you're voted for. No, he didn't. That was a deceptive thing that he has done since he's came into office. And that's why I call him out on that, because that's taking it a step too far. Yes, we have so many people in this country that we don't know who they are. 20,000 Chinese nationalists. And the list goes on. We don't know where those people are. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know if they're a cell, where they are, what their intentions are. I agree on getting to the bottom of that. But I don't need to get on the bottom to one of my neighbors who has been here for 25 years, who has children who are 17 years old, that played on my daughter's soccer team, that are on their way to a state college to get an education. I don't need to know about those people. I already know about those people.
Yeah. One of the better counters to the people that are like, a lot of the people are just like, well, there's so many people we don't know. There's so many undocumented people here. We don't know where they all are, or who they all are, and we gotta round them all up. And I'm like, by that same token, if that's your argument for like, there's just so many, we gotta get them all. By that same token, you could just do it. You could do the same thing, but instead of rounding everyone up and deporting them, you just identify everyone. So like every time you identify another, you're like, oh, this is an undocumented person. You just investigate them and just see like, okay, when did you get here? All right, 15 years ago. Got it. You have kids. Okay, got it. Okay, you have a job. Okay. Oh, you have a tax identification number. You've been paying your taxes for the last 15 years. Okay. Like what? Like you do that investigation. At the end of that, when it's all said and done, if it is the case, if you identify someone that's like, okay, you've been here for 10 years, you've never had a job, you've never paid taxes, seems like you've been like dealing drugs and stuff. Like yeah, okay, goodbye. Like deport those people, sure. But
That's right.
when you find that guy, and it seems like the problem here. Well, I mean, there's a lot of problems. Not giving people due process is a huge problem, but yeah, there's tons of problems. But one of the bigger problems here is it seems to be the case that it's just indiscriminate, completely indiscriminate. Like you could, there's a world in which I could see, not even a world. If I opened up, if I opened the news right now and I saw a story that they had found an undocumented person that had been here for, say, like a fucking long time, say like someone that's been here for like 40 years, undocumented the whole time, and they came here and they have a really good job. Like they've been doing really well for themselves. They've been paying taxes the whole time. Like you can go back in their tax history and see that they've paid their taxes all 40 years they've been here. And they've just been contributing a lot to society. Like they've done a lot. They're just all great. Kids and everything. They got fucking grandkids by now. Like the whole 9 yards, right? Incredible person. Done all sorts of good stuff. And then they deported that person anyway. I wouldn't be surprised at all if I saw that article. I'd be like, yep, that makes sense.
No,
That's
I wouldn't be.
like, I'd be like, that's
I
the
wouldn't
kind of
be.
shit they're doing, bro. That's the kind of shit.
Yeah, and that's where it's crossed the line, and that's where we have to protest. We have to stand up. We can't give up, because if you do, then he in his mind he would stay in the presidency for the rest of his life, which is not going to be very much longer anyway. I mean, that's just
Old ass man.
yeah, that's just you. That's part of being human. But my point is that the protests that are going on, the peaceful protests that they had this weekend, the No Kings, I had 100% support for every person out there. There was no violence. There was no, rioting. There was nothing more than people making out points that are actually happening, that some are even on the Republican side of the aisle that were there. So this is not just a Democrat. This is not just a Democrat movement of trying to keep checks and balances in our government. This should be a movement for all of our people. It's at the end of the day that, Donald Trump is our president, whether, there's nothing that can change that today, maybe tomorrow. But the one thing that we cannot do is change the fact that we have to keep putting pressure on his presidency to the point to where he makes statements like, maybe we've gone too far with deporting people who have exactly what you just said. So it is making a difference, and we can't stop now, and you can't, because once you stop, then it's like giving a person an inch, they'll take a mile, and he's already proven that.
Yep. Okay. I agree with everything you said.
right,
I
man.
agree with you. I
I'll
want to
give
ask you one more question, then we'll wrap it up and we'll move along.
Okay.
If we were to redo the election today, literally today, we were redoing the 2024 election, would you still go to the polls and vote for Trump today?
Probably no.
Okay.
Probably I wouldn't. I can't take him at face value, even though I feel like that about everybody. So it's not, I don't just trust Trump. I don't trust any of them. So it's not that one thing that he said that makes me not believe in him. I don't believe in any of them, but laying it across the board, I think that the Democrats need to find somebody that can compete against the Republican Party. And it was not their fault, in a sense that Joe Biden stepped out early, and it put so much weight and so much on Vice President Harris that she really didn't have the chance to run a true campaign. And it's unfortunate for her that it just, the timing of it was not on her side, but it's really no excuse for somebody to make, like myself. I didn't think we were going to cross these lines that we're crossing, and I can't say I regret my vote. I just want things to change to where I can say that I was happy, or that I'm satisfied, or I think we're finally headed in the right direction, because I don't think we've been heading in the right direction for the last 40 years. You know, there's many things that we can go all the way back to, you know, to the Reagan administration and just start counting the things from there to Clinton to Bush's to Obama. There's many things that got us to $35 trillion. There's many wars that we fought that we shouldn't have. There's just many things that we've done in this world that shouldn't have done, but we can't go back in a time machine. None of us can go back in a time machine and correct anything. All we can do at this point and moving forward is the reality that's in front of us. And that reality is that we have to put pressure on this administration to where they're making statements that move them back to common sense.
All right. I appreciate you coming up, Doug. It seems like the chat really appreciates you too. Everyone in chat's been loving you.
It just makes me mad that everybody's coming up here and blindly voting. I mean, just on Trump's side because of an ego. Ego is not more important than humanity.
I agree.
So, I mean, so you got to put your ego aside because at the end of the day, your number one asset is your humility and your integrity.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we can't lose as a society, and we're losing it. People mentally, I'm strong. Financially, I'm strong. Family, I'm strong. But there's millions of people out there that are not, and they don't have the support, and they don't have the ability to process things that are so hard to make it in this world. And you can't lose those people, because if you lose those people, then we just grow sicker as a nation.
All righty, Doug.
All right, buddy. I'll
appreciate
listen
you.
to you a lot. You take care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Doug's a nice guy. Guys, don't give him. Here's what we'll do. I want to talk about this a little bit. I saw it a little bit in chat, not too much. Most of you are very chill. When it comes to Republicans and when it comes to MAGA people, you should not, and you cannot expect them to be. You can't expect them to be exactly where we're at, right? So when I ask a person like Doug a question, and I say, you know, if we redid the election today, would you still vote for Trump? And he says probably not. I don't want, like, when I turn and look at chat and I see 10 people. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened, but I saw a few. They were like, probably. What do you mean probably? I'm like, bro, chill out, okay? That is responses like that when it comes to Republican people or MAGA people, former MAGA people. That's the kind of response that means we're making progress. We're going in the right direction. Fucker's only been president for 6 months, and we've already got former Trump voters, Republican MAGA people that voted for him being like, ooh, if we redid the election today, I probably wouldn't vote. 6 months in, we got that. 6 months in. What about 4 years of this bullshit? After 4 years of his shit, where are we going to be with Republicans or former MAGA people or MAGA people? You know, where are we going to be then? Okay? So I don't want you shitting on the guy in chat because he said the word probably. Okay? We're going in the right direction. And the reason I say this, and I'm not trying to like fucking woke scold anybody or hand-wring anybody, but the reason I say stuff like that is because one of the risks you run when you behave in that way, when I ask a person, would you vote for Trump again today if we redid the election? And he says probably not, and he gets shit on for using the word probably. One of the risks that you run is if the hatred is strong enough, and if the rudeness to him for saying that is strong enough, and you guys are really just being big old dickheads, one of the risks you run is making him believe that hatred is, and that kind of criticism and that kind of like, you know, tearing you up for using the word probably is representative of the left wing or the Democrats or the progressive movement, whatever you want to say. You run the risk of him thinking that kind of sentiment is indicative of the whole movement. And so when he sees, oh, I'm getting shit on just because I said like I'm getting torn up by the other side because I said I probably wouldn't vote for him again. These guys fucking suck. These guys suck. I'm not going to their side. They suck. They're mean for no reason. And then now we have a guy that was moving. He was moving. He was. And the hatred, for no fucking reason, actually, for no reason, pushed him back the other way. We can't have that. That's not good. No matter what you believe, I'm here to tell you that's not good. Pushing people away from joining your side is not a good thing ever, especially when it comes to politics. Now when it comes to like the moral, like when it comes to morals and like the in-group out-group thing, that's a different story. If someone's, if someone really like has a fundamentally different morality than you do, and you like, and they're in your eyes, they're like a bad person, you don't have to associate with that person. I agree. 100%. You don't have to associate with them. You think they're a bad person, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Don't associate. I get it. Okay? I do. But when it comes to politics, the art, the process, the game of winning power, when it comes to politics, pushing people away for any reason really, and especially over like smaller disagreements or smaller issues that you may have, is fucking brain dead. Don't do it. Do not. Okay? Cool. That was a rant, but I feel like it needed to be said. I see a lot of this recently. I'm seeing it a lot of like, I'm like, wait, why are we purposefully pushing people away from our side? And then the response is usually like, yeah, well, of course we're pushing them away. They're morally bankrupt, or that, they're evil people. And I'm like, the guy just said that he probably wouldn't vote for Trump again, which means when a Trump descendant or a Trump sycophant, or maybe even Trump himself, God forbid, runs in 2028, that guy's not going to vote for him or them, right? That's a vote away from the other side that we've just won over. And they're like, yeah, but he doesn't fully agree with me, so fuck him. That's got to stop. We got to be done with that. We have to be. Okay. Anyway, rant over. That's it. Rant is over. Anyway, moving along. Listen, if you guys are in the live right now, there's 143 people. All right. If you're not following, click the follow button. If you're not in my Discord server, the link to that is in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, as well as the links to my YouTube and Twitch if you'd rather watch over there, or if you just want to subscribe on YouTube so you can catch the videos. I would highly recommend it. I'm gonna pin the fucking rose goal one more time. See if we can bang this rose goal out one more time. Oh, also, if you are a frequent viewer, or if you just want to do it, if you subscribe on TikTok, the sub goal, we are at 8 out of 10. We need 2 more subscribers to hit the goal. But if you subscribe on TikTok and then you join the Discord server, if you have your Discord account and your TikTok account linked, or if you sign in through, or if you link your TikTok account on Discord, you automatically get the TikTok sub role. You get access to the sub only channels. You get access to some sub only shit, as well as just the emotes on stream and stuff. So, all right. Anyway, we're gonna be doing some stuff with the sub only channels on the Discord. There's some I don't want to. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything right now, but there's some stuff we're gonna start doing. How do I want to word this in a way that's not spoilers? There's some stuff we're gonna start doing in the near future, in which big, broad decisions are going to need to be made, and the TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube members or subscribers are going to be the ones to make those decisions. I don't know how to not spoil. Anyway, look, guys, I appreciate you all being here. We had some good conversations with some people. That conversation with Doug was actually kind of fun. I like to do, obviously, I love to do the more like, what's the word? Not angry. Confrontational. I like to do the more confrontational discussions with people, but every once in a while it's really nice to just have one of those talks of just like real calm with a person who like doesn't completely ideologically align with you, but like they're like not a psycho. You know what I mean? Like me and Doug don't agree on everything. You could tell some of the stuff he says. I'm like, we wouldn't agree on everything for sure, but like, we're in the same ballpark, okay? We can, like, when I say ballpark, I consider myself to be in the same ballpark as somebody as long as they support the Constitution. And like, when I say support the Constitution, I mean really support it, not in the way that like Trumpers support the Constitution, where they're like, yeah, Second Amendment, yeah. And then I'm like, what about the Fifth Amendment? And they're like, nah. So not that kind of support the Constitution, but I mean like when people that really do truly. If you really truly support the Constitution, I consider you to be like in the ballpark as me. You know what I mean? All right. Listen, guys, it's been fun. That's going to have to be it for today. I have a lot. I don't know if you guys know. You wouldn't if you were in my Discord server, you would know this. Okay, if you were in the Discord, you would know this fact. So you should join it. But I'm going out of town next week, so I have to make sure that I have content. I don't want to like just abandon TikTok and YouTube and stuff. I don't want to just abandon my social media stuff for like a whole week. So I'm trying to make sure I have like content prepared ahead of time. You know, I want to make sure we're good. So I want to have videos ready to go. I want to have shorts and TikToks ready to go, so I can post them while I'm gone. Because we won't be streaming. I think like Saturday, Sunday. No, not wait. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. No streams at all. Okay. But I don't want to not post at all. So I'm trying to make sure I've got stuff ready to go. So I got to hop off and do some editing, do some behind the scenes stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here. We will be back tomorrow, probably around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you would like to swing by. Okay. Peace out, TikTok people. TikTok people, I'm going to click end live right now. But before I do, again, go to the link tree in my bio. Okay. Reyes with the rainbow mini star. Holy shit. Thank you, Reyes. Oh, and Bass Drop sent 4 finger hearts. I also want to shout that out. Chardonnay. Is that how that is? Is that what that? Yeah, Chardonnay with the heart me. Bass Drop with the heart me. Eddie with the heart me. And then Reyes sent 63 roses before that. Appreciate you guys. Oh, and the Rosa from Shut Down the Camps. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. Click the link tree in my bio and go follow me on the other platforms and join the Discord and all that stuff. Okay. See you guys. Peace out. Back tomorrow. Bye. 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 See you later. Bye, TikTok guys. See you later, TikTok friends. Bye. See you later. Bye. Okay, YouTube and Twitch friends. It's just us again. It's just you and I alone. Yeah. All right, so let's do a couple little wrap up things with TikTok and Twitch. With the boys on TikTok and Twitch, let's do a couple little wrap up things, and then we'll head out. So as for just to say it again, Jay Gerhardt, thank you for the super chat today. The $5 super chat. I appreciate that. You're fucking goated. Okay. Secondly, as for, let me respond to some of the stuff other people have been saying. Ryan, open arms, welcome them in. Nobody wants to have regrets and feel shamed. We just want them to change their understanding. Yeah, Ryan summarized what I was trying to say very, very well. I totally agree, Ryan. And then as for car photography, so I'm going to give you one chance. This is why I should post. This isn't your fault. I need to make this more clear. I need to have somewhere where I like post the rules for my chat. One of the things I'm really strict on is if you disagree with me, that's awesome. I really, really welcome disagreement. Okay. Seriously, truly. But if you disagree with me and all you want to do is sit in my chat and talk shit, I'm going to ban you. Okay. But if you actually have a disagreement and you want to talk about it, you can either join the TikTok. You can either go to TikTok and join and request to talk in the live, and I'll get to you that way. Or you can join the Discord and go to the disagreements, the stream disagreement section, and I'll pull you up and we'll talk about it there. Okay. But either way, if you have a disagreement, I welcome that. That's awesome, and let's talk about it. But if all you want to do, if you just want to sit in my chat and just shit talk the entire time and never substantively explain why you disagree or just explain your position at all, then I'm just gonna ban you. I don't need to just listen to you fucking yapping and yapping and yapping and shit talking and shit talking and shit talking. Cringe. Okay? But if you do disagree with me on something and you want to actually talk about it and you want to tell me why you disagree and why you think you're correct, I welcome that with open arms. Okay? Keep that in mind. Open arms. All right? Anyway. Look, guys, it's been real. I appreciate all of you, the Twitch viewers, the TikTok viewers, the fucking, I don't know, the everybody. I forgot to mention YouTube, the biggest or the main platform, right? Appreciate you guys. Jay Gerhardt, again, one more time, thank you. Appreciate the super chat today. Have a good one, guys. It's been real. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you there when I come back for stream. Like I said, 2 p.m. EST ish, but I'll update you in the Discord, so join that.